Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cooking for the Family. I'm Dyvonne and today I'm going to talk about baking and some baking basics and some info. I get some questions from time to time about measurements especially, and so I wanted to share some of that with you, some little one-on-one basic tips when it comes to baking to help you. I know I have a lot of brand new beginner bakers who have started to subscribe to my channel. And so I want to share with you some of those tips to kind of help you along the way. Also some tools that you need as a baker. I got my apron on and it is time for us to get started. My oven is going off right now because it's letting me know it's up to temperature. I'm actually making some homemade granola. And if you haven't seen my homemade granola vlog, I'll put that link in the description box for your reference, and it comes out great. I'm making some right now to go with some yogurt that I bought and some fresh berries, but that's my homemade granola. So through this video, it might go off again because I need to take it out of the oven in a little bit. Now, when it comes to measurements, you're gonna have this measure cup here. This one goes up to 2 cups, and this is your wet measure. So anything that's wet, typically oil, milk, buttermilk, water, you're going to put it in here. And this is your wet measure, okay? Now, from time to time, even myself as a baker and also watching my mom, she was a very good baker, scratch cakes or pies, cheesecakes, box cakes. My mom could doll up a box cake like nobody's business. You know, so from time to time, she would put even something that was typically maybe a dry measure, like even say like sour cream, she would put it in here, you know, and that sometimes is just for time and you know, not to maybe mess up another dish, you know. So there's nothing wrong with doing that, especially once you kind of become a seasoned baker. You might see me do that from time to time, but typically anything that's wet, such as the milk, buttermilk, different things, you want to put it in here. And then these measuring cups here, these are your dry measures. And as a baker, you want to have a set that has, this is a cup, and it'll say right there on there, I don't know if you could see that, it'll say this is a 1 cup, and it'll also give you the milliliters as well. So this is a 1 cup, and this here is a 1/2 cup measure, your 1/3 cup measure, as well as your 4th cup measure. And so these are your measurements here. Now the 1 cup, 1/3 cup, 1/2 cup, you're also going to find those on this as well. You're also going to find those measurements also listed on the wet measure, you know, as well. So that's something else. Now on the back side of here, you're going to find the milliliters. And so you'll find the liters, and this is the metric system. So there's the milliliters as well as also on the other side there, the liters. Okay. And so that's what you'll find. Now, also this is the measuring spoon. Now I know some of you are like, you know, you're familiar with this, you know this, but for many people, they oftentimes get mixed up with these. If you have a capital T, that's going to be your big measure. That's going to be the tablespoon if it's a capital T. If it's a lowercase t, that means your teaspoon, okay? So that'll usually mean your teaspoon, and that's how it's typically lined up. So if you see a recipe written out and it's a capital T, that's a tablespoon. A lowercase t is a teaspoon. And then these are the measures here. So you have your tablespoon, you're going to have your 1 teaspoon, and then you're also going to have a 1/2 teaspoon and your 1/4 teaspoon. You're going to also hear words used interchangeably, such as 1/4, 2/4, a teaspoon, the tablespoon. So if you want 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon is going to be this 4th measure. This is considered 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then 2/4 is considered the 1/2 teaspoon. And then of course 3/4, which would be the 1/2 teaspoon plus the 1/4 of a teaspoon, would be 3/4 of a teaspoon, and then the full teaspoon. And you get those 3/4 of a teaspoon by combining these two. You would measure out, And then that's when you have your 3/4, or also known as 3/4 of a teaspoon. And so those are some different things to know when it comes to your measuring spoons. Now, something else is someone had said to me not too long ago in a comment about my butter measure. So this here, so there's two types of measurements. There's one where you measure by volume and by weight. I typically always measure by volume, but you will also see different like recipes that measure by weight or by grams. And so this here, this is 1 pound of butter, and it shows you right here, this is 1 pound of butter. And each stick of butter, and I'm going to open this one here, this is salted butter, and this one here is unsalted butter. And I always have usually both in my refrigerator. I'll have salted, I'll have unsalted butter. And so I'm going to open this, and I always like to use the same butter from the same maker, because then I know how it performs when I'm baking, and I love to bake, and so I like to know how it performs. So see, in here you're going to have 4 sticks. Okay, so each of these sticks, and it shows right there, is 4 ounces, so 4 sticks. And so each of these sticks here, I'm going to put this down for a second. Each of these sticks here, if you look on here, okay, it'll show you exactly. Let's see if it's zooming in on that. So each stick of butter, this is, as you see here, it'll show this stick of butter is a 1/2 a cup. This is a 1/2 a cup of butter. This one stick is half a cup of butter. And in the United States, it's standard that a stick of butter is a 1/2 a cup of butter, which is also the equivalent of 8 tablespoons of butter. Okay. But this stick, if you're going to do it as a weight measure, this stick is a 1/4 pound of butter. All 4 sticks are considered 1 pound. 1 stick is a 1/4 pound. And someone had said, oh, those are 1/4 sticks that you're using. And so a lot of times when you're working with a recipe, you really want to be mindful and look at that recipe to make sure, is it asking you in pounds or is it asking you in volume? And usually if it's a US recipe, it's going to be asking for it in volume. It'll say 1 stick of butter, which is the equivalent of a 1/2 a cup of butter, or sometimes it'll say 8 tablespoons of butter. And so that way you know. And if I used a 1/2 of this stick, if I used a 1/2 a stick of this butter, that would be a 1/4 of a cup. And the 1/4 of a cup is the same as this right here. This is a 1/4 of a cup. So if I were to basically take 1/2 of this butter, 1/2 of this stick of butter, and I melt it, it would fill up this cup because it's a 1/4 of a cup. Okay. And so that's when it comes to the volume versus the weight. Okay. And so just really quick. So this here is a 1/2 a cup of butter, which is also the equivalent of 8 tablespoons of butter. But if you were going to go by weight, this is a 1/4 pound of butter, and this is a 1/2 a pound of butter. So if you have a recipe that says, I need a 1/2 a pound of butter, a 1/2 a pound of butter would be 2 sticks. These 2 sticks of butter right here is also the equivalent of 1 cup of butter. 1/2 a cup, 1/2 a cup, 1 cup of butter. Okay, so I hope that helps out a lot. Something else is that I have a little sugar here. I want to show you that you'll also see where, oh, there's my granola. 1 second, folks. Okay, I'll share with you the granola and how it came out. I'll share with you how the granola came out. So when it comes to this is some sugar, and you'll see a lot of times in a recipe, it will say, as an example, you want a scant teaspoon, a scant. So a scant, if you see that on a recipe, especially a lot of old school recipes, and I love old school recipes, so you'll see where it says like a scant of sugar, a 1 teaspoon scant. And so what a scant is, if I were to take, let's do Let's do this one. Let's do half a teaspoon. So this is a half a teaspoon right there of sugar, right? So a scant, it means that you just want a little less, not quite that full measurement is a scant. And so to get a scant, you usually just kind of dip your fingers in and you just take a little bit off like that. So it's not totally actually to the rim. And that would be a scant measurement. And so that's the same thing if it's a liquid measurement and you have a cup, and this here is this is the half cup measure. If you have a half cup measure and it says a scant, and you want a scant half cup of flour, so you would get your half cup measure and then you would just swoosh off. You just go ahead and swish off a little bit, and that would be considered a scant. And so a scant again is just that little bit that's taken off, so it doesn't quite go to the rim of the measuring spoon or the measuring cup. Okay? And then another thing is if you wanted a heaping. So a heaping would be, this is a half teaspoon again. So a heaping would be where it goes over the rim, or it makes like a tiny dome would be right there. That would be called a heaping. You want a heaping half a teaspoon or a heaping cup. Usually what that means is it doesn't stop at the rim, it goes above the rim, and it's going to be slightly domed, and that's going to be what's considered to be a heaping. So you want a lot, you want a heaping measurement, and this right here, that's a heaping. So this would be considered a heaping half teaspoon, or a heaping, if you're doing a teaspoon measure, a heaping teaspoon of sugar, a heaping teaspoon of salt, or a heaping teaspoon of something like that. And that would be what and usually it's a dry measurement like salt or like sugar is what you, or sometimes, of course, if it's a measuring cup, then that would be flour. So those are some quick basic baking terminologies, some quick measurements. This is the first time for me doing a video like this, and so I wanted to share. I wasn't quite sure how to share it. I wanted it to be as clear as possible, so hopefully it was. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I'm glad to answer any of the questions that you may have, and let me know if you'd like me to do a follow-up video, and I can go more into detail about reading a recipe when it comes to baking, and if you have to sometimes make substitutions with different baking ingredients and how does that work, and just different things like that. So definitely leave a comment down below and let me know if you're interested in maybe a part 2 video, or maybe I'll even start a series and have people ask me questions about baking. There's also another way to measure, and this one is also a very important way. A lot of bakers, especially professional bakers, will use this way, and this is by using a scale. And I love to use a scale, especially when I am making my sourdoughs, and so using a scale. Now with the scale, and this is a food scale, what you want to do is whatever you're going to measure your ingredients in, you want to place that on the scale first before turning it on, and then you want to go ahead and turn your scale on. So that way it'll go on and it will zero out, as you see, and then you can put it, and then as you're filling your ingredients into your container that you're using, it'll let you know how many grams, how many milliliters, how many ounces. And so you want to start off with your empty measure that you're using on your scale as it's off, then turn your scale on, and then you can go ahead and measure and put your liquid in. And I'll give you an example. So I'm going to fill this with some water, and as you see, it'll calculate how much you have right there. And this is in ounces, and so I have 5.75 ounces of water that I just put into my measuring cup. And so that's another way to measure when it comes to baking. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this time. I'm going to show you really quick my granola that I made. I'm going to take you over to the stove and show you my homemade granola. This is my homemade granola. It has come out really, really great. I've also put some pecans on there. Well, friends, I'll see you on the next one. And if you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to show this video some love and give it a thumbs up. And click share. Share this video with a friend or family. And remember, it's always good when Dyvonne is cooking for the family. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.